Hi friends, I'm the vegan. I make a fruit salad today, and well, it's usually fruit is cooling the body because there's a lot of water in fruit usually, and a lot of sugar, and that cools the body down. Yeah. But we have some fruits that are especially nutrient dense. For example, one fruit here is pomegranate seeds. That's one of the main fruits here in my salad today. A whole pomegranate, and the seeds are special. They are seeds. Yeah, you call it a fruit, but a seed has more protein and more fat than a fruit. You see that it's a seed here. And the orange, on the other hand, is high in vitamin C and more calcium than vitamin C. For calcium, the orange is not well known, but it actually has more. Is more important as a calcium supplement or so than vitamin C. Actually, that's what I eat oranges for the calcium. Yeah, interesting, right? And so these nutrients have also a warming property, quality. I would say the orange is more cooling, but I would say the pomegranate seed is more warming. That's the fruits here too. And the third part here is a dressing that is also partly warming, partly cooling. But I have more warming parts here. Dates, yeah, I consider dates very warming. They are high in sugar, but also high in minerals. And there is no water, and there's less water because they're dried. Yeah. They are super healthy, full of nutrients. And ginger, we know that I don't need to explain that. Of course, ginger is very warming. Yeah. It's hot even, yeah. It's heating. Yeah. The body gets really a lot of warmth. You feel directly, it really comes from the heart, yeah, from the center goes the sun goes out, rises, yeah, when you eat a lot of ginger. Usually we do use it sparingly because it's just a little bit is needed to unfold these wonderful healing properties. Properties are like, for example, antioxidant, very healthy, so many health benefits. You cannot tell all of them. There are so many in the ginger. One of the most important healing foods we have. Pomegranate seeds is similar, very, very warm, very healthy too, with so many health benefits for the heart and many other things. And the third part of the dressing, the third ingredient, is a lemon, and that is more cooling. Yeah, there's a lot of water in there. Yeah, we know it's a typical summer fruit. A lemon is sour, and if I blend it with a lot of dates, I have a nice date and sour and sweet balance, and I will put a lot of ginger in there. This is not a huge amount of ginger, but it is a lot more than I would actually use for making a regular dressing or so. I would just have an inch of ginger for a small amount of dressing for one or two helpings. But this is a dressing that is different, that is only based on ingredients that I would usually add to other dressings. This is a dressing that is made up of all these ingredients I usually use to add to dressings. In addition to main ingredients, for example, orange could be a main ingredient of a dressing, or a nut could be a main ingredient of a dressing, something very different than just lemons. They add a little bit of sourness usually. And dates, they add a little bit of sweetness. But in this case, the dates make it creamy and sweet, and the lemon makes it sour and watery, so that the water in the lemon is needed to balance the thickness of the date. And the ginger, usually just to make a little bit hot, is here to make the whole thing, because it's a very strong opposition, yeah? Tension between the lemon, very sour, and the date, very sweet. This is a strong contrary, opposition, and in this strong opposition, a drama of flavors, I have space for a lot of ginger, yeah, to get into this balance, and that carries this heat. Yeah. I can't take too much of the ginger. When it has too much, it will be not pleasant anymore. But this is a little bit an interesting dressing because, first of all, dressings usually have to be a little bit over-seasoned, because when the dressing goes over the salad, yeah, it dilutes the flavor. Dressing should go everywhere, so it dilutes the flavor. It gets a little bit only everywhere. Whereas a soup, for example, has the whole complete flavor everywhere. Yeah. The dressing is only, that's why the dressing has to be over-seasoned. And this dressing is by itself, yeah, over-seasoned. Yeah, that it is an over-seasoned dressing by itself. I don't need to add more. So I don't know whether the explanation was a little bit too complicated. I don't know. I have the feeling that it is very interesting for the vegan cooking to talk about flavors, yeah? Because that's what we actually enjoy when we have food. We taste it. But what is flavor? Flavor tends to be something very subjective. Every person has a different flavor. But actually, we know there are some things we already know by science that are really healthy and for everybody healthy. Yeah? Despite of the fact that people are all different, some foods are considered healthy, others not so healthy. For example, plant foods in general are healthy, and animal products are considered not healthy. It's a very general understanding we found only in recent years, maybe 2013, the first big study came out, and this kind of knowledge is kind of universal knowledge for the human body. Interesting, though everybody has a different experience with it. And there are, of course, more healthy foods. Whole food, for example, in general is considered healthy. Whole plant foods is healthy considered, whereas when you take off the peel or things like that, it becomes less healthy. Also a general thing we know about food. From there down, it becomes hard to say what is really healthy and what not. Science has a lot of problems, but in recent time, especially very recent time, right now, we learned that the flavor, even the flavor, yeah, every single plant has a different flavor, and all these different flavors have different health benefits. These relations they begin to discover. Very interesting. To me, I think the future of the vegan cooking is a lot more about flavors than before. And I think especially the vegan flavor is something really new. We never experienced like that before. We didn't think of plant-based food is in general more healthy. Vegan food is more healthy than animal-based food. We didn't think about that before. I mean, not as a society, as a culture, as a science. We didn't think about that before so much. We have that first now, and so the flavor, the vegan flavor, we can say, becomes something predominant. Yeah? We didn't notice the so-called vegan flavor before. And that's why flavor becomes more and more a subject of science also, of the study. They even try to make artificial flavors that taste like meat. Yeah? Because they want people to go away from meat to the healthier option, and so they try to help with the transition with making these wonderful flavors we know from the meat to be as vegan flavors. Of course, then the question arises, is that really healthy when it tastes like meat? Is that a healthy flavor? Well, this is the discussion. I don't want to have that now, but it is a way to transition to a more healthy food anyway. Yeah? And not only healthy, but also ethical and so better. So now, that's why I'm talking a little bit more about flavor in recent times, because it's more and more interesting for me what a flavor is and how they come together. And I guess cooking, creating food, can be also approached from the flavor. Yeah? I want to create a new flavor. I don't know what it is, which kind of flavor it will be, but I know something about flavors, like the oppositions or harmonies and these kind of things. Colors also part of the flavor discussion maybe. Textures, yeah. So now, enough. I will put the dressing into work. I put it into the blender, first the lemon, 2 lemons I have here, 2 medium-sized to big lemons, and let's say a dozen or 14 pitted dates, rather medium or small dates. Not the medjool dates, they are more expensive, very sweet, very yummy, very great, good. But I have the Deglet Newer dates, They are less expensive, but I think they are very good too in flavor. So I have a deglet noor, maybe 13, 14, I don't know, about dates, 2 lemons, and maybe 3 inches of ginger. Usually I would take 1.5. For here I've doubled the amount, so maybe 3 inches. That's what I have, and what I begin with a little bit of water, not too much, just a little bit, because I think especially this dressing should be creamy most, and not too runny. I begin. Blender dance. So you see already the color, yeah, that's so much telling about the dressing. If all the ingredients, the dates, predominantly the dates, have turned into a creamy dressing, and that is the case now. Yeah. Now I will taste it if it is pleasant, yeah, or if it's too much, too sour, or too sweet, or too hot. Let's see. Wow. Wow. It's perfect. It's very strong, but not as if I would eat a piece of ginger and get a hiccup because it's too hot. No, it's perfect. Wow, it's amazing. It's wonderful. It's just what I wanted. I wanted the sweet and sour be a very big tension here, and in that tension I pose a lot of ginger to carry that hotness. Right? That heat. It's amazing. I'll show you in a moment. First I will put now the main part of the fruit salad together. But for this, okay, I begin with the pomegranate seeds. I've shown you before. It's so nice. If you want to know how to open a pomegranate and to see it, the best way without making a mess, then you can look in watch the video. It's linked under this video. So this is my pomegranate seed, and here with a orange, I have to show you something that is important. I consider important. So here I have some orange pieces. Yeah, I cut the orange in some pieces. I peeled it and cut it in some pieces. What the big chefs out there, the well-known guys, what they would usually do with the orange, they would slice it without the peel inside. I mean the thin white peel between the flesh. They cut it out usually. I showed in another video how to make it, but in this case I choose another way to make an orange into delicious pieces, and that's why I have spared half an orange, half a peeled orange, to show you how I do it. You see, this is the top of the orange, or the bottom, as you want, and I cut it in half, so I can see all the segments of the orange in here. That's important, because I want to cut along along these peel, these peels inside. So I quarter it, yeah, like this. So I have 4/4 of a half. That's 4/8. And what remains is here. You see, each has about 3 segments here. You can see 3 segments, and this is the inside of the orange. It can remain. I don't need to cut it out. And now I will cut half through it again, in the middle, and I crosswise again. So I have 4 pieces of half of the 8 here. That's all the pieces I have. So here is my fruit salad together with the dressing. I show you again what it looks like here when I put it onto the salad. Here, that's the creamy dressing you can see. And I just toss a little bit, and then this wonderful flavor combination with very sour, very sweet, and very hot build up a nice harmony. Here, show you the ready fruit salad, ready to enjoy. And I'm really looking forward to it with these special cutting technique, I guess. The pieces are in a nice way, yeah? The peel in the orange doesn't come into the way when chewing on it, and still we have this wonderful fillet effect. When cutting out the fillets from an orange, I have to throw so much away, much of the orange, and it isn't that necessary we cut it the right way. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit information I provided about making flavors. And well, if you so, please thumb up, and maybe even subscribe and leaving on YouTube. Have another video every single day, and find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.